Pete, maybe we'll get you a mini skirt and we'll...
You can be your diletta, right?
with the beard.
I need a...
With the beard,
Yeah, with the beard.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie A audio experience with IFTV. Second time recorded this intro. I had a little problem with the
mic.
With the mic. With this mic or these mics?
Both.
Technical difficulty.
We fixed this one, but I don't think we fixed this
I
one.
don't think it's
Nah,
fixable, this guy here.
Antonio, at least there's a smile on your face on this one.
Yeah, you're right. On the first one, what's that? What was not smiling?
You were not too happy.
Let's go. We bring some joy.
Like
team
I
doesn't
had
go.
said, there's nobody at this table that won today.
Yeah, nobody. Oh, my God.
But there's only one that's lost.
Oh boy.
Wasn't me.
You don't have to raise your hand, Anto. We knew that one.
I think we know.
No,
Because my dad's
you
not
know,
here
but
yet.
Not a lot of people know.
That's true.
Oh, I think everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
It's been a long time
Guess
coming.
what? Nobody cares. Because nothing changed anyway. Just an extra point on top.
But you know
Doesn't
what?
mean anything. What is it? You know what changed? I got to tell you what changed.
Well,
What changed is that
Uh-oh.
my opinion about those super paid losers, coaches that you guys have, Sarri, this Conte, and so on and so forth. They're just worthless. You just wound up paying against, tying the game against just a below zero team. I understand. Yeah, we lost with Roma. Roma is one of the top 4 or 5 teams. But what did you guys do? You tied against who? Lecce? Oh, no, you guys did.
Parma,
Who are you
Lecce.
talking
Parma,
You tied Lecce last week.
All I know is that your team was the only team that lost today. So therefore, I give you the sticker. He's a loser.
I mean, it did work out pretty perfectly.
Wow.
So you're a loser. Sorry, Antonio. Today, at least. This round.
All right.
Fair enough.
Guys, what?
At least I take it. Yeah, hey, I admit it. And it's not that.
You wear it as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
But do people know about it? What
No, I was just going to say, if you didn't see our Instagram, you didn't see these
Go ahead.
stickers.
You got to
Show it to
promote.
the camera a little bit.
So, guys, Growing Up Italian, Sabino from Growing Up Italian, you guys have had a couple podcasts on it with him on here. He made these stickers made by Gripless, who designed them, and then Sabino ordered them.
Specifically for Antonio, a cartoon version of Antonio. Anto, what do you think? Do you think it looks like you a little bit?
It's hilarious. It says
looks
he's a
cool.
loser in the little quote bubble. And it's wearing the culture shirt that you always wear, the red one that you love.
Do you approve this sticker?
I approve the sticker.
You like it?
Yeah.
Because it's saying, like, it's when you call, like, Spalletti a loser. If you
Peter,
call
a loser.
then you could give them the sticker. And you
Yeah,
say,
we can
he's
do that
a
every
loser.
round.
So
you know
today
that?
I want the
Who's
sticker. So we'll see who's going to win next week.
We can
least
do
you
a
won
new,
something.
we can do a new segment like every end of the round.
Who's the loser?
Who's the loser?
The loser of the
that's
weekend.
good.
He's a loser, and you pick.
Okay.
You know, Breakfast Club, they do that with the donkey of the week.
Oh yeah,
So it's going to be a
They
loser
do
of
that
the
for
week.
Sky too. They give the aardvark around, right?
No, not Sky. Yeah. They give the
talking about?
Tapiro d'Oro.
Tapiro
Yeah.
d'Oro.
yes.
That's for whoever's had like a really bad week.
Is it aardvark? What is it? Anteater? Whatever.
Is it an aardvark?
How do you say?
anteater?
One of those, right?
What the hell's
Looks
an
like-
anteater?
It's like aardvark. It looks like
I've
an
never
aardvark.
heard of
Really?
that. No.
It's,
Also,
you
Go to
know
school,
Arthur,
bro.
right?
no.
Yeah, Arthur. The cartoon
Arthur.
Arthur with the glasses.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
Oh, that's
aardvark.
You
it?
see, you guys still watching cartoons?
Better than watching Milan.
That's for
Oh, boy.
sure.
Oh, boy.
This guy's going to be smart.
Is he the loser of the week? We have this set up. My dad is going to walk in pretty soon.
Yeah, he's parking right
This
now.
parking doesn't
He
have a
actually
park,
did
I
say
guess.
parking.
He's trying to be parked for the last 20 minutes.
It's tough around
He
here.
doesn't want to do parallel parking.
Not everybody's got the Cinquecento.
Okay.
You
That's
fit in.
Or the Vespa.
You fit in everywhere. All right. So, like we had said, it was a strange round, a very strange round. Juve started it off with a tie, which then we said Inter was playing right after them. We said, oh my God, Inter's going to be so motivated to be able to win and going back into first place. They ended up tying. And then we said, all right, it's going to be Napoli's time to be able to make us some points. They ended up tying.
Wow.
And the only one who really took advantage of the situation was Atalanta, who put 7 past Udinese.
Crazy.
7.
But also it was a 10-man Udinese, so
10 men, yeah.
But you have
Change
7
right now.
goals. You have 7
7
goals.
goals.
7 goals.
It's
7
like
goals.
Leicester City. They won 9-0 this weekend. What did they play
Not
with?
the same,
one
not the
one
same.
or 2 extra men?
The one, I think.
And
Against
even if you play with
Southampton.
1 extra, come on, you
yeah,
can't
of
lose
course.
9-0.
Sampdoria might be taking few more goals than the Inter and Juventus or whatever.
Where's
Atalanta,
Sampdoria coming
Atalanta.
from?
I'm saying you're right. Atalanta might be, the defense might not be as great as your defense, but look how many goals they score.
They do score a lot of goals.
They're the most goals in Serie A.
They have the most goals in Serie
by
A.
like 7 goals at
and
least.
no other team in Europe besides Manchester City and Ajax have scored more goals since the start of the season. And Man City and Ajax only scored one more than them.
What do you think Guardiola loves Gasperini?
Because he
He
beats
so
him.
much. He gave him 5-1.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
He publicly said it.
Guardiola always has some mind
He's got a
games,
lot of
man.
respect for Gasperini.
He has a lot of respect for Saudi also.
Yeah, he
he
does.
said the exact
yeah,
same
he
thing,
said the
maybe
same
even
thing.
more so.
Yeah, but
where
they're two coaches.
High praise.
You understand why.
Playing
He's not going to say
football.
that about Spalletti.
It's positive
Yeah.
football.
There's a reason behind.
Of course.
I know.
He's not going to
Got-
say that about Spalletti.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
It is the truth.
No, but the point is, Gasperini, don't get me wrong, good coach, great coach, I can't say yet.
Yeah, great coach.
Because a great coach makes sure your team wins games. So the fact that you can score 5 goals, it's great. It's positive football. But you have to make sure that you don't give up a 3-goal lead
Yeah.
like they've done so many times in the past 2-3 years.
Let me
Isn't
just.
that the same thing saying that you're supposed to be winning against a mediocre team like Lecce?
No, every game is
or
different.
Parma,
every
or
game
Parma, and then you don't put
Every-
the numbers on
no,
the
but
board.
every game is different.
Why?
Because-
it doesn't fit your narrative.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
No,
I
that's
like
not true.
that.
That's not true.
Yeah.
How is it?
So what are you supposed to do?
because the idea is
you
the
don't want
idea-
the team to score 3 goals, but you're not scoring
No,
either.
but you have to be able to manage the game, I'm saying. Because there's times where, as a player, they're going to have a shit game. They're going to have a shit game no matter what the coach does. Okay? But when you have a game where you'll be able to bring the team to a 3-0 lead, you have to be able to manage the game and tell your players to make sure that we defend.
Okay,
make
but
sure that we
Inter
take
did
care
the
of
same thing
certain
against
stuff.
Sassuolo. They were up 4 goals. They conceded 3.
Yeah.
Yes, and those are things, but what happens with the Sassuolo is mental breakdown. Where
Yeah,
there's-
exactly.
Yeah. It
Uh-oh.
happens to everyone.
He
Oh,
parked
yeah.
the car.
We
The car was finally parked.
Gaetanino
only started 2 minutes
is
ago.
officially here.
Oh,
He's
God.
in the building. And guys, thanks for watching the
It's all
podcast.
pumped up. It's all pumped up.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, look, even Inter's team, they do the same thing. I mean, we've seen teams all across Europe. Atletico were up 3-0 against Juve in the first leg. The second leg, they lose 3 goals.
No, I'm
And
not
lose the
saying
game.
it doesn't happen. I just think that when it's
I wouldn't say that
Atalanta,
was-
happens more often.
Okay,
We
but
let in a lot of goals.
But to be
don't-
fair to Atalanta, the thing is, and I understand
They
the
know
point.
to score.
It does annoy me. Like I see what happens in Champions League, and I'm like, it's really bad. They have 0 points, and
Right.
they're up against a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
But then I take into consideration that they're 3 points off first place. They're in 3rd place right now. They're 3 points off first place. They have the 13th lowest wage bill in the league. That means 13 teams spend more money on their players than they do every year. And to be able to achieve everything that they have achieved, even if, yes, they do lack a lot in certain times, it's pretty incredible.
No,
It is pretty
100%.
incrable.
100%.
Well,
With all the differences they have compared to the resources
talking
they have
about
compared to
Atalanta.
the other
That's the
teams.
only thing we've
It's
said.
amazing what they're doing right now.
No, but Mike,
They're
the thing,
flying
the
high.
thing that impresses me the most,
Yeah.
that nothing affects them. Let's say they lost against the Manchester City, or they
Yeah.
lost
5-0, yeah.
the 5-0, the 5-1.
They
The
don't let
next-
them stop
The
it,
next
yeah.
week, nothing is. It's like nothing ever happened.
That's a good point.
So they just go
That's an
in,
interesting point.
boom, and executed the game.
Let me second. I got a stat. There's no other Serie A team has scored as many goals as Atalanta have in their first 9 games since the 1990s,
Wow.
with 28 goals. Again, with the 13th lowest wage bill spent, it's crazy. I that is credit to Gasperini. I give him a lot of credit for that. And Luis Muriel, hat trick, 8 goals in 7 games. A lot of them are from the spot, like you said.
Didn't you get
But-
a package from Atalanta?
he brought it up right away.
What
Yes, we
package?
did.
Hello, everyone.
Bring it up.
Oh, you got something?
We did get something.
Oh, wow.
So we received a message
Oh, yeah.
from the Derun family from Atalanta, who watches the podcast, and they're fans of the podcast, and they sent us an Atalanta jersey signed by the entire team.
Wow.
Nice.
Bring it closer to the
Yeah, bring it
camera.
closer.
Which one?
Antonio.
We got everyone in here.
And
That's a nice
we're gonna
jersey.
hang it up. We just got it. Thank you so
Derun,
much
right?
to Ricardo and Martin.
That's what we need.
Incredible. The
Wow.
jersey's so
That's
beautiful.
a nice jersey.
Thank you, Daron.
That's a
and,
historic jersey. too.
Ricardo
And to
and
the-
Martin Derun.
and to the spouse, right?
Yeah,
Because,
yeah, Ricardo.
Ricardo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ricardo.
You're always welcome over here.
It's a beautiful shirt.
Good
yeah.
job. Good job,
That's
Rick.
First
first
ever
time
Champions
League.
League.
Atalanta.
That's true.
right.
That's
Oh,
true.
Very nice.
Oh, this one here is going to be
Yeah, we're gonna hang it up. We'll hang it up next week.
Next podcast, you
It's
guys
never
see it
gonna.
for
It's
sure.
never gonna go down. Yeah, we'll put it in the front.
Put it right here.
Table. Take that stupid.
P, make sure your
Inter
stupid coffee
Yeah,
doesn't
put it
go
over
over there.
This is the black and blue that I want on this podcast.
As long as it's black and blue, it's okay for me.
Fair enough. And also Martin and Ricardo,
wish.
they also they posted wearing some of the Halloween drop, the calcio clothes that we had.
That's right.
So we really appreciate that.
Wow,
that
great,
They shouted
great.
it out, and they liked it and they liked the stuff. So thank you so much. Pretty awesome, and it's gonna be hung up. We're
find a
ready to
special
replace
spot.
the Casano part. So
Yeah.
Casano.
Asano, we have it in the towel wiping our hands.
Where is it?
it's in the garbage. It's in the bathroom.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You forgot how to
We're
speak.
gonna talk.
do
We're
you see
gonna
what-
put their own stuff
Yeah,
right
yeah,
here.
yeah,
We'll put it in the
Right
middle.
here.
Do you see what's on his shirt?
Yeah, I saw that.
Peter, you missed. That's like the only part of the podcast you missed. He slapped that on him. We're gonna do. Antonio's gonna have a loser of the week since Milan's the only team that lost.
So that's probably gonna stay on there next week too. So
You're right. Actually, this is gonna switch. It's gonna go from
I
shirt
think
to shirt.
I think you should put a permanent.
We'll just tattoo it.
stitch it on, right?
Oh, that was funny.
I don't know if he meant that or he's joking.
He's gonna kill you now.
Yeah, he is. Your next
Knocking
games
my
are
door.
Watch, I don't stitch it on your jacket.
your next games are really hard. You play Spal, Lazio, Milan, Spal, Lazio, Juve,
Napoli?
and Napoli.
Good luck. Do the cross from now. That
We're
one
gonna play who next?
Spal,
Uh-huh.
Lazio, Juve, and Napoli. I'm
Alright.
not positive about the order, but those are your next
That
games.
is definitely staying there. The next,
Alright.
the next
So for
couple
4
months.
weeks, do we have that on there?
Only
Guaranteed.
weeks?
Hey, we got Pioli. We got Pioli. Okay?
That's why I said that you might not.
Wow.
That's why you said
We
we're
got
gonna keep it
Pioli.
there.
Don't worry. We're not worried about that.
You're not worried.
Yeah.
So, like we had said, the big teams they all tied this weekend. Nobody was able to take advantage of Juventus's first slip up. Where you guys want to start? Which team you want to start with?
Let's start with Juventus since you've been
Alright.
talking too much. Yeah. So what happened? Who did you play? Lecce?
Lecce.
Oh, wow.
The same team Milan tied last week. Juventus.
But the team that Inter killed 4-1.
4-0.
Wow. Okay.
well, Inter's winning the Scudetto already, so it's
Yeah.
You
they're
being
supposed
sarcastic?
to.
That goes
No?
besides.
Yeah, of course, you got to
So
win.
you guys, you're off. There is no discussion about you guys. We're
yeah,
discussing Juventus.
exactly. So
Easy.
You guys won already. Don't worry. Pete.
Easy.
Lecce Juve, the horrible game from Juventus's perspective. 2 penalties in the match, and a Juventus that when you see them, it's just so disappointing to watch. And I was very surprised at the decision that Sarri did not call up Ronaldo. Not only did he not leave him on the bench, he did not call him up. And he said afterwards that he needed a break and that he needed a mental break and that traveling wouldn't have been good for him. Which, when you look at who Juventus had on their bench, there was a point when Juve were 1-1 and they were begging to score. And they made their subs. The only striker they had on their bench was Han, the teenage North Korean kid who's never played a game. Mandzukic is not part of the team anymore. Ronaldo wasn't there. So I think that decision, first off,
That was surprising.
super surprising. And then second off, I think it's, and I tweeted this, I said, it's finally acceptable to tweet how bad Bernardeschi is as a player. I know everybody's had that bias around him that they want him to be so much better because he's Italian and because he was playing for Juve. But the guy is so bad when he plays. I mean, he messes up almost every one of Juventus's chances. He has 1-2 good games a year, but for the most part, he's not consistent enough. He always makes the wrong decisions. And the miss that he has on that last one with no goalkeeper and you hit the post in a game that you need to win is just...
That was bad.
Does anyone want to stand up for
That was
Bernardeschi or
bad.
no?
Yeah,
Well,
is
listen,
there anyone that wants...
Well, Bernardeschi
Yeah.
is a very streaky guy, but you don't complain about Bernardeschi when he scores for Juventus.
When does he score?
He did score.
When does he
few
score?
Very good goals for you.
So what do we think? He's not ready for the big stage? Is he just?
I don't think he's not ready. I don't think
maybe
he's
on-
ever been.
Not on the first level player.
I don't think he's
maybe
a
he's a
starter.
second level
I don't
player.
think he's a starter for
He will never
Juventus.
be.
He
He will
might.
never be the player that people think that he is.
Oh, I guess it's
He will
too
never
early
be.
to
No,
tell.
no. It's not too early to tell. He's been at Juventus.
being a little
He gets
harsh.
so much time to play. It's not one of those situations where we say, "Oh, he doesn't get playing time." He gets too much playing time. He gets way more playing time than
Well,
he deserves.
Gaetano, step in here,
Yeah,
please.
you know, when Douglas Costa comes in, I mean, he's not gonna. I think he's getting a lot of playing time because one,
not a lot of
Douglas
options.
Costa has been hurt. They found a spot for Cuadrado, so he comes in from the back because that was also Cuadrado's, position, and. So they and he comes back. I think that's what they use him for, because he does come back and he does win balls, comes all the way back. But going back to what you were saying before, what was Sarri thinking about? I mean, you leave Ronaldo home, bring
Come
him
on,
on the.
but against Lecce, you-
They underestimated.
Bring him
they
on the.
underestimated
That's true,
Lecce.
Bring him on the bench. If you need him,
underestimated him.
you use him. If you don't need him, you don't use him. But and then the other thing is also Mandzukic. I mean, this guy was a warrior for Juve. I don't know what happened there. This guy was a warrior. He was going up and down, up and down. And when Allegri needed a goal, he put him as a center forward, and the guy always came through with a goal.
I agree with you. I always like Mandzukic.
Yeah,
And
so-
they're treating him like garbage.
Yeah. So
We can use
there's
Mandzukic so badly. We can use Mandzukic so badly. We can use you, Mario.
I
definitely.
understand that he's not part of the plans, but then when you have nobody else,
Yeah, why
you
don't
really
bring him?
don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Like he's so far out of the
They
plan.
really
I don't know
left him on the
this.
side to rot. I don't
I
understand.
don't
Sarri's a
understand
disaster,
Juventus this
please.
summer. First of all, they took so long to get a coach, and then they didn't know the coach. Then they wanted Dybala out. Then they wanted Higuain out. And now Dybala,
They didn't sign a
and
midfielder.
Higuain, they came back and in Champions League. Now Dybala is playing good. Mandzukic is out. I don't
interesting.
know.
I
There's
think-
something is not right.
I think a lot of it has to do with balancing the books, but because they have to make up for the big purchases of De Ligt, of Ronaldo. So that's why I think there was a push for Higuain out or Dybala out, more so to have the money come in and balance the books. Not so much because
The flow.
the technical
Do
ability
you
was
think that
questioned.
Agnelli needs the money?
No, but no matter what, with the financial fair play, you have to have a balanced books. That's why new sponsorship, Jeep, this year, as a reward, they're increasing another 25 million for this year and the following year.
And guess what's Jeep
for event.
what's-
Exactly. Well,
All
that's another story.
It's
But-
not Fiat, but it's
Yeah.
Fiat times two.
Exactly. But what I'm trying to say is they need to work out numbers. So that's one way that they did it. And another way would be to sell players. With Mandzukic, I agree 100% what you guys are saying as far as if he's on the team, he should
Use
be
him, yeah.
on the bench. The only thing that I can see is that they already have a sale ready for him in January and don't want to risk any injuries to then not be able to sell him.
Who's going to be sold to?
Maybe
Mandzukic
Man U.
is
Probably
is
Inter's
sold.
going to take.
Maybe
No, I don't
United.
know.
They're saying
I don't know.
United is the team that's like really
But
on
Marco,
him.
you also said he's not a Saudi player at all, and he said he's not in the plans. Right?
I mean, according to Sarri, no, that he's not part of the plans. But
Yeah.
but bigger picture, but forget about the finances, forget about all this. At the end of the day, there's 11 guys on the field that play the football, right?
Against
Then-
Lecce.
and the midfield of Juventus is just embarrassingly bad. And it takes me back to sometimes Juventus, they spend so much with a defender or a striker and these guys, and you never got an adequate midfielder. And now look, when Pjanic, who is the only player, I'll say this again, he is the only midfielder on Juventus worthy of Juventus. Pjanic is the only midfielder on Juventus that's capable of playing for a team of the caliber
and
of
Ramsey,
Juventus.
no?
Ramsey is to be determined. The guy's injured. The guy got injured 4 times already. You can't even
That's
count him.
true. I get
The
it.
players that are available. Look how Pjanic gets hurt, and then watch how Juventus play.
Yeah, exactly.
Bentancur,
That's true.
Rabiot,
When Pjanic
Khedira.
came off, there was
and
less
who's the other
hunger.
midfielder, bad midfielder that I'm thinking? Khedira. These guys are not good enough to
Emre
play
Can.
at Juve. Emre Can. They're all not good enough, and that's still the midfield the way that it is. And the best player and the only good player, in my opinion, on that night, at least in the attack, was Dybala, the guy that you wanted to
But
get
regardless,
sold.
that's not an excuse for
And
against
Higuain, what are
Lecce.
you doing all game?
Against Lecce, too, that shouldn't be an excuse.
It's a little bit of Ronaldo dependence, in my opinion.
that's
It
a lot
is.
of factors.
And also just not having that intensity where you need to win this game. This is the most important match of the season. You have to pick up maximum points against
Against
Lecce.
Lecce.
And De Ligt, we got to cut his arms off. De Ligt. The guy gets a handball every freaking game.
No, he gets a
You
lot.
gotta have the time.
Put him in a straight
Just
jacket.
Yeah, put him in a straight
Jesus
jacket.
Christ. The guy concedes a handball every game. I mean, I know he's gonna grow and he's gonna get better, but
Why don't you bragging
Oh my
about
God.
that?
He's just a
we
magnet.
did the league,
I
we did
didn't.
the league. Yes,
I
you
was
did.
happy about
You
him.
went alive. you did a
listen,
lot.
that league's a
He's gonna have
great-
growing pains. The guy's
Yeah,
young,
that's
especially as a
normal.
defender. A lot of defenders until a later age, that's when they really mature and be able to. I'm saying Koulibaly, who's arguably one of the best defenders, if not in Italy, in the whole world. His first season was not a great season. A lot of Napoli fans were a little skeptical about him.
That's
but
normal, yeah.
after
Sadi
growing
compared De
pains-
Ligt to
after those
Koulibaly.
growing pains, he was able to become the defender that he is.
Sadi said that De Ligt is going through what Koulibaly kind of went through in his first season in Napoli. But anyway, good job by Lecce. Congratulations to Lecce. A point against Juventus is incredible. 2 back-to-back points against
And
Milan,
against Milan.
and Juve
Not as impressive against Milan. That's
are massive.
More.
I think it's still... I thought it was very impressed by Lecce to be able to hold on. You know, they put guys behind the ball. They ended up being
Yeah,
able to get the win.
That's the
you do what
strategy.
you do.
Yeah,
What you
they
got
do
to
it-
do. It's more
exactly.
so of Juventus are very disappointed in the
They
approach
also
that
missed on their
Sadi and
chances,
Juve.
but when you miss on your
Yo,
chances, you're not
Bernardeschi,
going to be able to,
that was
Bernardeschi.
open,
to win
that
those
was
games.
bad. He hit the post
Makes
on
a
that.
At
difference.
least the only thing I'm happy about is that finally you're allowed to say, "Look, I want somebody who thinks Bernardeschi is a good player to come out."
Maybe he just needs a
Jesus
change
Christ,
of
Marco's gonna kill
scenery.
him.
He needs a change
If
of
I was
scenery.
if I was a Milan
Give it
fan,
to Inter.
listen,
Give him to Milan.
I'll take him.
you would take
You
him.
need him.
You would take him.
I'll
play
give you
good at
Çalhanoğlu.
Milan.
I'll give you Çalhanoğlu.
Who's he gonna play?
I wouldn't
Suso?
even take. Maybe I would take him at
No, what are you
Milan.
talking
I would definitely not take him at Inter or Napoli or Atalanta.
Right. Why? Inter is such a great team. Look what they did. They tied with Parma. And
Parma's a good side. Parma's a good side.
and let me
And?
finish. That was a penalty. I mean, the penalty that was given to Inter was not a penalty. It was offside.
What penalty?
I'm
No, it
sorry,
wasn't a penalty.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the goal.
The
Yeah,
Lukaku
yeah.
goal, it was offside.
Lukaku.
Not because I'm saying the VAR said.
No, it wasn't.
Let's
It
talk
wasn't
about the game
offsides.
first, because if we go straight into that,
No,
okay,
let's talk-
no,
Controversy
don't.
on that. Jesus Christ.
So right after that game, like we said, Inter had the opportunity to be able to go into first place. They were playing at home against Parma, where we thought Conte and his intensity and his team and his never die attitude they were going to come out and kill themselves to be able to win. And like my dad pointed out, from 2 minutes into the match, he said that Inter just completely lacked the intensity to want to win the match.
I mean, I saw right from the start. The maneuvering was so slow. Everybody was walking. They were sleeping. And we were watching the game here together. And I was telling, Mike was going crazy for Inter. But I was telling Mike, they're sleeping. Mike, they're sleeping. And I felt it. Like, I felt it that they were going to score. I thought they were going to
They're
score.
so sloppy though.
That
Their
Parma would
passes.
score, right?
Yeah, that
Parma
Parma was going to score.
Inter's
Yeah.
passes were so
I-
sloppy.
and,
They gave him both goals practically.
Brozovic, yeah, in the first one.
Dude, it was hard.
No, but Parma, I thought
stuff.
I agreed with that. I thought Parma's approach was actually really good.
Parma was on
it was
top
very
of them. They were
positive.
pressing
For the
them.
first 45 minutes. For the first
Oh, yeah,
45
of
minutes, their
course.
approach was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good. And Inter, again, I said it last week, without Sensi, the midfield is so different.
Yeah, there is no creativity without Sensi. There's no party. And the other thing, I heard that they were tired. This is what I heard from some of the Inter fans, that the team was tired.
Conte
From
too.
Champions League?
Conte.
Yeah, from the Champions League. I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe Peter can elaborate a little bit more.
How do you
I mean,
feel?
No, of course, as an Inter fan, you're disappointed. These are the times when Juventus slips up versus
Yeah.
Lecce.
You gotta
that
come
you can,
back. You can top the
make
top
up
number
those
one.
points, because in the long run, it could turn to be
100%.
deciding factor.
100%.
Nothing is over. Nothing is dead
Very
shot,
early.
because you could have won this game and then lost the next game, and you're back where you were.
But these points are very important.
Yeah,
They're
but
gonna win anyway. Don't
as
worry
far
about
as how the first half played out, by far one of the worst first half I saw with Inter players.
Literally.
They look slow, lethargic, stupid mistakes.
Not aware.
I don't know if the approach was a mistake. Maybe the approach was, let's try to,
Slow down the tempo or something.
not even
Or-
slow down the tempo, but take every hit, kind of like a Rocky Balboa, as long as you're still standing, score the goal, and then be able to defend like how we've done in the past, and win this game with the approach where you just control the tempo, control the game.
Okay.
But as we see, Inter luckily get a first goal. Look like Inter's gonna control this match, and then Brozovic.
on a deflection. Let's
Yeah,
say
but
it.
I
Doesn't
said it
matter,
luckily.
doesn't matter.
Parma
Luckily.
scored on themselves.
And then, but the 2 goals that Parma scored, great goals,
Yeah.
but they were
Inter mistakes.
Yeah, Brozovic back pass, and then I don't know what Brozovic did on the second goal,
Yeah,
but Parma, they made the most of what they had in front of them. Beautiful goal by Caramo, and even Gervinho on a one touch in the
Breakaway
lower
too.
corner. Yeah, so great goals. And then into the second half, they started playing. I like that part, the reaction, which is very important. We get the goal. With the VAR, I don't
get the Christmas
understand
present.
what happened. I
get
do
the
not
Christmas
understand what
present.
happened because
But did you watch
with-
the VAR? Yes,
yes,
or no?
I watched
And
it.
what was it? Be honest.
based on the images that we have,
It was.
he was offside.
Thank you.
But-
But are
from
these
the camera
images?
angles-
I don't know how these images work because first
Yeah.
off, the whole time that the referee was checking his VAR, we didn't see one image. We saw it 5 minutes afterwards.
And it took 3 minutes.
You know,
it took 3
yeah.
minutes.
Forever.
So
Sultano, what
I
do you make
don't
of
I
this
don't
VAR?
Let him
understand
finish.
how it works because with VAR, especially with the offside, we thought that it's
Yeah.
very very objective.
Calculated.
You know, you have the dotted line that shows where his point is, and it's offside or it's not offside. And they made a blunder of
This
it.
VAR has been a disaster from the very beginning. A disappointment at every level.
No, I don't
No, I
agree.
Big,
No, I don't
big,
think so, no.
big
I don't think
It's
disappointment.
so.
how the VAR is
Big
good. It's just
disappointment.
the way they handle the situation.
they?
The people in the box that are in charge
In the
of VAR.
box that the final decision has been made that the loser is on the field, the referee.
No, not all the time. Not all the time.
Yeah.
For that decision, Candreva was for the people in the box, and they told him.
Well, to further elaborate, because yes, I was very confused throughout the situation too. Because when I saw the image, I said it looked like from live. I thought Candreva was offsides. Then I saw the image and I said, okay, Candreva's offsides. But the image that they give you is slightly angled,
Yeah.
so it could be deceptive. So what they were saying afterwards on TV was that the VAR automatically tracks the foot of where it is, or it got the foot of Candreva. What they were saying is it could have been a mistake where it didn't get his upper body, because
shoulder.
anything that's playable, meaning your shoulder, your head, your chest, all parts that you could score with count as part of the offside,
Except the hand, right?
except the hand.
Yeah,
So
but the upper body was 3/4 of the shoulder.
But
it
that was
not
from the-
just
that was from the
borderline.
slanted
No,
picture,
wait,
but
though.
Mike,
yeah,
that
but,
was
it, but
offside.
even
That was from the
yeah, but
slanted
but
picture.
but even like the image that was weird was the line. The line was there,
Yeah,
and the
it-
body was still looked
It
like
didn't
it was
take
further.
effect of the shoulder. I
It
get
was,
what
it
you're
was a
saying.
strange situation.
There's a lot of
and
contradicting
people were
things on
confused,
this.
but it should be that the VAR was calculated and it got it correct. Until I see another image, I don't know how to
haven't- yeah,
say
we
that
haven't
it
seen
wasn't
anything.
Yeah.
the correct decision.
Unless we saw an angle where it was straight instead of angled, you can't really tell.
I saw a lot of people trying to explain it. Hard to tell what really the truth is, because again, you don't have that
confusing.
slight angle. At first, it was called as offsides by the official, right?
Yeah, it was
called
offside.
offside.
Then they checked it, and then after 3 or 4
3
minutes,
minutes.
they-
Yeah, after
But
everything
why?
was wild.
Before, just why doesn't the referee association, or whatever, come out with a statement
Yeah.
based on the game?
Yeah.
In the NFL, they have the
After the
referee
fact, you say?
after the fact.
They say on the loudspeaker.
You can say it referees NFL, right? If there's a mistake, the NFL comes out and says the referees made a mistake on this call.
You know why
The
they don't
ref-
come out?
But what I'm trying to say is, whatever happened, we should know what is the reporting on
Yeah.
it. We should know why the thought, what's the thought process behind it, behind the foul, behind any of these moviola
Behind the angle,
things,
like
the
the
angle yeah.
is deceptive. Like they should be explained. I agree with you. What do you think?
saying? Gaetano?
No, I was going to say, I mean, for the most part, the VAR was made to simplify and make it easier for everybody to make the right call. For the most part, I think the VAR has worked, but with these new rules, there are a lot of contradiction now that are coming up, especially with the handball. I mean, I thought with the offside, I mean, it's pretty scientific. You draw the line if any part of your body except your hand is. I mean, it's offside. So I don't know why it took 3 minutes, but I will try to find out why it took so long. What was the report? But for the most part, I mean, it was supposed to help. But with the handball, there are a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
Exactly when it's a handball and when it's not handball. There's
it
a
hits
lot
your
of
foot
gray
first.
area.
Yeah, exactly.
From your hand that is in this position to the hand that is in this position, there is this area here that's gray area, and that I think that needs to be looked at again.
Because it's inconsistent.
So
Yeah.
anyway, the goal ended up counting for Lukaku. People on both sides say yes, it was offside. So it wasn't too hard to tell, honestly.
Too hard to tell?
Yeah, too hard. It is really hard to tell with that angle. It looks like
The
it is.
angle was terrible.
Yeah, it
it
was
was.
bad.
It
It's
was.
bad.
The
It is
angle,
bad.
you don't-
That
not
was an
clear.
offside.
But
But
it
it
is-
the story is a present. They needed to tie the games. They made a phone call or say, okay, what's coming? Okay, all right, you need a goal. Okay.
So
all
why
right.
didn't they give us another goal then? We needed a third
It
goal.
would have been too obvious right after.
and to that point, I think they had a couple calls. Inter fans had some
Yeah.
calls in the box that they felt like should have been penalty kicks.
Yeah.
That
Lautaro.
they said even if it was offsides, hey, we didn't get a penalty kick over here. But I think that Parma, amazing 45 minutes, really brilliant 45 minutes.
After that, that's
After that they were shot. They were really dead. Inter had a better reaction in the second half. But again, that slip out, I thought for sure Inter were going to win that game. I mean, even
They had 30 minutes after
into the last
30-something
minute,
minutes
he
after
threw
that goal.
Politano in, who Politano does everything but the kitchen sink. This guy, he doesn't stop.
At least he was trying to do something.
He does way too much.
At least he was
No,
moving.
but he was taking on the players. I can't really blame him. The only thing is, what was interesting was to see Conte make the substitution so early for taking out Lautaro Martinez when you have the game tied 2-2.
Take Lukaku out, right?
No, not even necessarily taking Lukaku out, whatever. But why put in Esposito? It's about the kids of 2002 in a delicate situation like
Yeah, I get what you're
this.
saying. Yo, Lautaro's missed some
I might have
chances,
kept Lautaro in and waited maybe another 10 minutes to put on a third striker rather than just take a straight
I get what
swap
you're
with a striker. If you have to win this game, then you
I
make
like Lautaro a lot, but he misses a lot of
proactive-
chances.
Look, Esposito-
He's not
Esposito
efficient.
by
Lautaro
far,
makes me
yeah.
laugh.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying
Yeah,
that.
he almost
If
scored.
But he
Yeah,
also-
he almost scored.
into
And
that-
on that, yes.
He
but
would
what
be the
about
hero.
But what about the other mistakes that he did?
Yeah,
You know
he
what
had
I'm saying?
mistakes.
So, but the thing is, he's 17 years old. He's
Yeah,
allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah, yeah.
But a game at that magnitude, I think I would rather have Lautaro Martinez at this moment
Yeah, get
to
more
score
experience. I get what
than-
you're
You
saying.
guys
Then
should sell
Esposito.
that player.
You
Why
know
don't
what's-
you sell it to us?
To Roma.
What are you gonna say?
No, I was going to say, I mean, with all this criticism about Inter, you're still in second
yeah.
place.
Well-
You're still up there. And
Not
you,
bad.
1 point.
It's not 1 point. I mean, you're right there,
Mm-hmm.
and the other ones are falling off a little bit. But Inter is staying there, and you're ready, to go to first place. And I thought you guys on the last podcast, you were a little bit too critical of Inter. I mean, you have to understand that Inter played against Barcelona, okay?
Dortmund.
And Juventus. Those were two of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
And you lost. You're supposed to lose against those teams. But then you came back. I mean, you came back strong against Dortmund. And
Sassuolo too.
yeah, and now you got to go away to Germany, right? But I mean, I would not criticize. I think Conte is doing a good job.
Oh yeah.
What's really funny is I was listening to his post-match conference, and I keep saying there's a lot of similarities between this Juve in 2011 when he first took over and the Inter now, and a lot of the things he's saying afterwards about playing every day and not having injuries and the players that he doesn't have at his disposal. They're starting to recycle over. Where I started to see these things even at Juve, he was like, I didn't have this player. These guys have this huge budget and all this stuff. And I think he is, to an extent, he's absolutely right. But yeah, they're very Sensi dependent is the thing that I would say about the bigger thing for me was very Sensi dependent, in my opinion.
If you think the subs yesterday's game,
Yeah.
Borja Valero is the only midfielder that can create on the bench.
I can
There's
still
no
believe
one
that
else.
the guy's part of the team.
And use the word
know what I'm
create
saying?
lightly with Borja Valero.
No, but as far as a technical player, he's
Yeah.
a technical player. Everybody else,
Yeah.
Anyway, you
don't
saved
know.
my day because I was having a really bad day to that point. Michael was going crazy. He was very happy
By the
because
way,
he was going to
Mike,
win.
all of a sudden now you're becoming an Inter fan. You were a Roma fan last year, then you became a Napoli fan.
He was a Milan fan a couple years
and
ago,
then
too.
yesterday you were just pulling for Inter. I mean, all of us we were pulling for Inter to win. Don't get me wrong.
Wait,
But
why,
yesterday,
why are you attacking me right now?
No, I'm not attacking. I
Okay,
want to
what
know
is it?
what's the rationale
logic? What's
behind
the
all of
logic?
this changing of
Well,
Changing over what?
coming on Mike's defense.
I appreciate you, Gaetano.
Okay.
You don't know what he's going to say first. You don't know what he's going to say.
he's gonna defend him.
Whoever comes to my defense. this guy.
I mean,
Don't worry, we got each
He's trying. What he's trying to do is to balance the Serie A. That's what he's trying to do. That's
He's
all.
the anti-Juventus. He's the embodiment of the
No, I wouldn't
anti-Juventus.
say that.
Nobody
you-
likes Juventus, neither do I.
No, I
yeah, but you
say
don't
what
balance. You want to kill.
Oh, my God.
Hey, by the way, I was paying attention when you were saying you were looking at the shirt.
Yeah.
The shirt says "La maglia sempre sudata," means
Nice.
the shirt that is always wet. In other words, if you play for Atalanta, and Derun is the perfect example, those guys they live 200% every time that they wear the shirt. Of
course.
And they are walking on the field. Not like don't
Milan.
make me make the team.
Yeah, don't say any names.
Even including my team. This is the perfect example how a soccer player is supposed to behave.
I don't think the
La
Milan players
maglia
even
sempre
sweat.
sudata. Guys,
I like
look,
that.
I'm not making this up.
Show on the camera over there.
I don't think there's anybody that thinks you were making it up, but fair enough.
Okay.
Go a little
we're gonna
closer.
break the camera. Not too close.
Out of focus.
It's okay.
No, it's good.
Nah,
It's
nah,
good.
it's good. Yeah, leave it there. We believe you. Go pick up an Atalanta shirt and you'll see it. Spal Napoli. Napoli, the third team that
Another
we said
disaster.
oops, here we go. Inter and Juventus, they're two rivals, drop points. It's Napoli's turn
To pick it up.
to get back in and close the gap a little bit, and they end up drawing to Spal after
What's
being
going
up
on? Ancelotti,
1-0.
I'm disappointed in you, man. Listen. You drop so many points now. When the top two teams in front of you drop points, this is when you have to win and get closer to the top three.
Let me bring something up real quick.
What's going on? This is Ancelotti's second year. You should
Was
be knowing your
Manolas playing?
squad.
Was
No.
Manolas
No,
playing?
you
Oh,
injured
that's
ribs.
why.
Wait,
It could
wait.
be. I don't want to say that, but it could be.
Last week there was some criticism about me saying that Napoli should sign Zlatan. Is this not a perfect example of a
It
game
is.
that Zlatan could have been
It
perfect
is.
for
Yeah.
to win it? No,
I'm not denying
Absolutely.
it.
Last week you were saying they got Milik, they got Insigne, they got
I'm just
Mertens,
saying
they got
have a lot of strikers.
Lozano.
I'm not saying not to get him.
Okay, that's
Mike,
very fine.
what do you think? Is that Ancelotti is only concentrating in the Champions League
I
and
don't know.
not
It
on-
seems. I feel like he only concentrates on the big matches. Like unless you're a big
As a-
team, if you're a small team, there's no motivation for Napoli to do something. I'm
Okay,
like, what's
I
going
want to
on?
say something about, you said the small teams. I want to
Yeah.
say something about the small teams.
Okay.
And I was talking to Marco about it too the last time I was here.
Yeah.
I want to say something for Serie A. I mean, years ago in the morning, sometimes I used to watch some of the Premier Leagues because they were fighting up and down, always running in 90 minutes. And if I had a little bit of time that there was no Serie A game, I used to watch the Premier League. You know what? I don't watch Premier League anymore. I watch all the Serie A games because when I see Brescia play and Fiorentina play and Spal play,
They got that grinta, right?
Parma.
these teams and the Parma, now it's enjoyable. I mean, I like the game. So there's something to say about the small teams and something to say about Serie A and something to say about IFTV. Because we are always pushing Serie A. And I must say,
got
Serie A
that
is exciting. So when you see the small teams, go against a big team.
Yeah.
I mean, Lecce against Juventus, you would think that there was no competition. Hey, they're fighting.
Yeah, they are.
Spal is fighting. Bologna is fighting.
Parma.
Parma, it's nice to
Lecce.
see. It is nice to see. All this Cagliari, another
yeah,
revelation.
team.
I mean,
You're right.
the exciting teams, and I'm happy for that.
That's
There we
good.
go.
That's a
Nice
good
game.
representation.
And, for you guys of being that you dropped the Serie A and all that stuff, you made a huge mistake. So we're still here. I think you should be picking us up, pick the entire Serie A up, just starting to broadcast games again.
Well,
That's what
we're
we're
ESPN.
here for.
No,
Huh?
I
We're
have
on ESPN.
IFTV now has to broadcast the game.
Definitely. We're ready.
From
we're
the studio,
ready.
right?
Yeah.
Gotta
Got
crack open a
investors?
couple more
Got
windows.
some investors?
Pete, maybe we'll get you a mini skirt and we'll.
He can be your diletta, right?
With the beard.
I need a.
The beard,
yeah, with the beard. That's all.
Oh man. But no, I think you are right. Like some of these games that I watch, I'm like, wow, it's incredible to see some of the especially the idea, the philosophy of football, especially Cagliari, who's doing incredible
Fifth
things.
place.
Not fifth, yeah. Aren't they
No?
sixth? I think they're sixth.
Oh crap.
They're seventh.
Oh my god.
It's because they didn't
Never
win. They didn't
mind.
win their game against Torino.
They're supposed to.
But yeah, I agree with you, and it took a long time. There was for a while, Serie A was really bad, and I agree with you. There were some Premier League games, but for the most part, the smaller games are really good. But Spal Napoli, this is a game that, to me, in my
Horrible.
opinion, you needed to win
100%.
in these moments. But having said that, also Inter and Juventus both dropped points. There was obviously something this week that everybody had something in their mind that they weren't able to take advantage of the moment.
That's the third. You had the third Champions League, the game before. The week before. You have now another game coming up on the midweek Wednesday.
That's right. Tuesday, Wednesday.
So there are a lot of these things that coaches think about. Even the players sometimes, the energy levels. not to say that no one puts 100%, but
They're thinking about
there's
the next few
times
days.
that if they're thinking about something else.
Hey, Ruiz
But-
didn't play.
Yeah,
He didn't start.
exactly.
Ospina
But
started.
also Napoli, they had chances.
5 chances.
They had chances
Changes.
to score. Fabian Ruiz hit the post.
He
Yeah.
did.
In the 80th
No, they
minute.
had chances.
well,
So
everybody,
they had
even
chan-
Inter
yeah,
had
even
chances.
Inter,
Juve
of
had chances.
course.
They all had chances.
You just have to finish. So, but like soccer's a game of inches in that sense. That ball goes in. We're talking about a
We're talking
different.
about
Yeah.
3 points.
We're talking
Yeah.
about a different situation.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
for the most part, I think Gaetano said it best. Like a lot of these smaller teams, they've closed the gap. I mean, look at Cagliari. They have some players now where you say, okay, they can play. Nainggolan,
Olsen.
Olsen.
Yeah.
playing
Spal's
Rome.
caused
So
a lot of teams
Spal
problems.
also,
though.
yeah.
They have.
Petagna,
They really have.
Petagna knows
guys that
stuff,
are
yeah.
interesting. And
No, they're good.
The list goes on for a lot of these different teams. So any game, something can happen,
It's a surprise.
But that's the beauty of it. In a long run in the season, right? It all depends what happens in the end. But all these games matter. A lot of times for a Scudetto race, it's the team that's able to beat these smaller teams, quote unquote. Not so much the head-to-head versus Juventus or
Exactly.
versus Milan.
Exactly.
No
So-
game's guaranteed nowadays.
Speaking of that and things turning around, Thiago Motta took over Genoa, the first time coaching a professional team, a first team.
As a head
he was,
coach.
He was only in 19. He only coached the U19s of PSG before this. He took over Genoa, and man, he really, I think he transformed them already. They looked really good. Like when you get a new coach, sometimes you get that immediate impact, that spark right away.
Just like AC Milan did it with Pioli.
Did they get the immediate
No,
spark
no.
though?
Ranieri's a good one with Sampdoria.
Oh,
Someone
boy.
cut the spark plug.
They did more than that.
It's really funny actually. It was they didn't score in the first half. All 3 of his second half subs scored a goal. All 3 of them. It's the first time in Serie A history, I believe,
it is.
that all 3 subs scored a goal when they were put in. I mean, that might tell you a little something about the way that he interprets a match.
And this came after the Sandro Tonali goal or cross, you could say. I don't know if you guys
Oh, it was
saw.
a beautiful
But
goal.
Sandro Tonali
Yeah.
had a free kick. I
Yeah,
don't know if he
it's
meant
something.
to, score, but he threw in the box. He tried his best. It went top 90. One of those goals that he's going to
first time in
remember
Serie
for
A
the rest of his
history.
You
life.
guys got Tonali, right?
But,
Who got Tonali? Gaetano?
Nobody.
No
Yeah.
one. No one.
Nobody?
Everybody's trying to figure
No,
it out.
I know, but somebody was already. I think.
Well,
they
I
bought
think
the Cartellino.
I
Maybe
think
Juventus.
Fiorentina was interested at one point this summer,
year,
but
yeah.
Yeah, but
last
now-
year. But
He might be too.
now his
He's gonna
price.
be
Yeah,
expensive.
now the price went up.
I think Cellino said he wants like 200 million or 300
Yeah,
million.
okay.
now.
300.
He said it as a way to tell him like I don't want to sell him. He said he was already at 50 million. He's like, oh, okay, so now he goes, you know what? I'll take 300 million. Basically, say I'm not gonna
So
sell
the
him.
3 goal.
Tonali can
He's
be
unbelievable.
Can be a 50, 60 million player.
He's unbelievable.
60 million.
He's really good.
Yeah.
The guy he's got character under high pressure situations. He really doesn't crack. He reminds me not just because of the
Pirlo,
hair.
Pirlo. Yeah.
He's calm. He's very calm
And
under
he-
pressure.
And he's not
looks up all the
scared.
He's not
time.
scared.
He's
He
not
just
scared.
doesn't.
Yeah.
He
He's
looks
very good.
up.
Yeah.
He's really good, and he's young.
Cassano. That reminds me of Cassano too.
Also, I want to add, Pandev was one of the goal scorers out of the 3 that came in as a sub. Guys, Pandev has been around for how long? He's been one of the.
He's been around
forever.
He's
I
been
feel
around
like.
so long that him and Thiago Motta won triplete together,
yeah.
and now Thiago Motta coaches him and still scores.
And he's
Wow.
how crazy.
How old
Do you
is
believe
he?
that?
has been there
Is he
forever.
36?
Let me check.
37?
I'm gonna check if he's older than Thiago Motta.
Probably
He's-
36.
he's
No,
ageless,
35,
that
30,
guy.
It's going to be 36. I don't
Okay.
think so.
Maybe 30.
Who's gonna take the guess?
I say 37.
36.
38.
I say
Gaetano.
46.
What the?
36.
He's 36 and Thiago Motta's
Wow.
37.
Oh,
they're
wow,
they're
wonder.
almost exactly 1 year apart.
Yo, imagine he was older than Mota. That'd be hilarious.
I'm sure it's
Yeah, I'm
happened.
sure it happened.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
Buffon.
happened.
Well,
Oh yeah,
wait,
but
wait,
not
no.
Sadi, but I'm
Not
sure
Sadi,
some other
yeah,
coaches.
I was right.
I mean, Buffon-
Stramaccioni, I think.
Yeah,
Stramaccioni,
Stramaccioni
yeah,
was.
young
There's also
coach.
the coach in
Coach
Germany
Zanetti.
who's super young.
Yeah. I forgot.
30s.
Yeah, he
I
does.
don't remember his name. But good job for Thiago Motta.
good.
I'm happy for him. Let's see. He's got Juventus next week.
Yo, the guy, all the 3 subs that he brought in, all of them they scored.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
The 3
That's
subs
crazy.
that he brought in. Look at it.
You don't
What's
listen.
so funny? I was not listening.
Read a sticker. Read a
It's the
Child
first time
abuse.
in first time in Serie A history. All 3 subs
Really?
scored.
Marco said it.
Oh, yeah?
That's
I
why
just said it
Marco-
before.
yeah.
It's all right. You tuned me out.
But what about the 2-7-2 formation, huh?
He didn't do it.
Oh, it wasn't
no,
done
he didn't
yet.
start it. No, he kept Andrea Soli's formation.
Okay.
But there's a lot
You
of
only had, like,
confusion.
3 days.
There's a lot of
I
confusion
know, but I
on
wanna
this
see it.
formation that he uses.
2-7-2.
He
How
sees.
the hell you do 2-7-2?
Okay, see, look, a perfect example. Mark, you want to explain it?
This guy is so strange. He reads formations from left to right.
What a freak.
yeah?
So 2 and then 7 in the middle
Instead of
and
reading
then
it
2.
like this, he flips it over and reads it like
Kinda.
that.
And what about the goalkeeper is included? Too?
Yeah,
It's 11 already.
He thinks that the goalkeeper has to be the first line of attack. That he's the first midfielder, the goalkeeper.
But he's winning, so whatever's working. You know,
All right, he won
let
one
him have
game.
it.
He won one game.
it's a
It's just
star.
one
Star.
win. If we see it, hopefully we see it debut against Juventus, a 2-7-2. I would love to. I'd love to
Beating
see it
Juve,
against there.
oh man, that'd be interesting.
Easy.
Bologna 2-1 against Sampdoria.
That's right.
Mihailovic again, unbelievable form for him. Since Mihailovic returned to Serie A in January, only 3 teams have outscored his Bologna: Napoli, Atalanta, and Inter. Considering how different those teams, the level is so incredible for those 3 teams, pretty awesome for Bologna. And he took them over when they were in 18th place, so he's gotten them to look really good. 2-1 against, like you were saying, Ranieri.
Sampdoria are dead last right now, 20th
Jesus
place,
Christ.
so it's gonna be tough for them. Hopefully they stay up because we love Sampdoria.
Yeah, really bad.
Sampdoria, a mess from the president.
Yeah,
No.
the
It's
ownership.
unfortunate. It's a historic club.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
players
for
have played in
sure.
Sampdoria.
Beautiful city too.
It's a shame because to me, and I always say this, Sampdoria, I love their shirt, the colors.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I like that shirt.
Lucetti.
They have a good history and a good story. Anto, let's go to your Milan. Let's stop avoiding that. I know you don't want to
What's
start
gonna
with them.
happen?
Roma won 2-1.
They
against
deserve the
Milan.
win. Roma
Roma
deserved the
deserved
win.
to
Could have
win.
been
Nothing,
3-4-1.
Dzeko and Zaniolo got the goals for Roma, and the only great player that I think you guys have, Theo Hernandez, scored the goal for you.
By the way, where was this player?
Was injured.
When? In the beginning?
Yeah,
got
he was injured, yeah,
He got
for
injured in
preseason.
preseason against
Yeah.
Bayern Munich.
The day we
in
went to
July.
go see,
Yeah,
we
the
saw
day we were with
Baresi.
Baresi.
Okay.
Yeah, he got injured when we were all there.
That's right.
But
Yeah,
he's so good.
Yeah, he's very good.
He attacks.
I like
he
him.
defends. He passes, dribbles.
He's the brother of the guy that's on Bayern Munich, the fullback,
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
on the French national team. He was a starter for France in the World Cup. He's a really good player. He's one of the only ones on Milan
I like him.
that I really
and
like.
he really likes Milan. He said a lot of quotes like he wants to win with Milan. He's like he actually said he wants to win the Champions League with Milan. He said not now, but I want to grow with them. So it
Well,
shows
obviously
that.
not now. You're gonna win it now.
Well, that's not what
that's-
Maldini said.
What did he
What
say?
he said?
Maldini said we have to win now.
The Champions League?
We have to win now. The team has to start winning.
Oh, okay, I was talking about Champions League.
Oh.
You can't win if you're not
Champions
in it.
League is.
You know, Maldini, I just it's my idol, but I hope he makes it to the panettone for Christmas
Really?
because things.
He's getting a lot of pressure right
getting
now.
a lot of pressure.
That he needs
But
to.
when I was telling you Maldini,
to
just
win.
because he was a great player doesn't equal a great
But
director.
it's not
very
coaching.
true.
Maldini's
You're
not
killing
coaching.
me.
Maldini's not
No, a
coaching.
director.
A
I said,
director,
I said
but,
it doesn't reciprocate, and you were yelling at me.
Mike did
hurting my
get a lot of
feelings.
hate from all of us over
For
here,
everyone. I
and a
got
lot of
killed.
hate in the
I had to
comments.
turn off my phone for
That
2
day that he
weeks.
said, "What does Maldini know?"
I didn't mean it like that though. I just said as a director, what does he know? He's a great player. He's a legend.
He's got Boban there to.
You didn't specify
him
director.
and
I think
Boban.
is that why?
But
That's why
I
everybody
think I
got
just
mad.
freaked out because Anto kept screaming, so I just
He
said
said when you got somebody like Maldini, and then you said,
Yeah.
"What does Maldini know?"
about
So-
directing.
I know.
I
Well,
said
you're
like
looking to
that.
be the one that was right in
Mike,
the situation.
stick with your day job.
And he was also criticized by Berlusconi,
Who did?
Berlusconi
Maldini,
only talks a
and
lot.
Boban, and he said Berlusconi said I liked both of you when you were playing.
Better. Yeah, I like you better when you were player.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, they're fantastic players, so it's not. nothing
Yeah, but what's
crazy.
going on with Milan? I mean, the history of Milan. What's
Well,
going on
Italy
there?
doesn't win games.
much
You
time
have
you
to just
got?
win the game on the field right now. So
What
right
did you
now,
think about the game against Roma?
I think the game was not a bad game. It's just defensive mistakes that are really like childish mistakes, just simple pass.
Calabria.
You know, you just pass into the gap when there is another guy already coming in and they're taking the ball and then they create and they just go straight into
They
the
had no
net.
creativity. I feel like there was no urgency with Milan.
But the thing is,
The Zeko's goal, excuse me, I
He was
understand.
wide open, too.
Somebody
No one
just
was
hit the ball
guarding
with the
him.
head. Zeko was on the second post.
Kessie was looking for butterflies.
It was
Yo,
looking,
Kessie-
I don't think he could have
Kessie had
done
a
anything
bad
anyway.
game.
Kessie couldn't have done
So,
anything. Kessie was nowhere near him.
Where
was
was
wide
it?
open.
Where this the problem? I mean, you owe like 100
think
euro,
it's
140 million euros under. The team is a mess. Is this what's happening?
I think it's the management, not the management, not Maldini itself. I
Because,
think it's the
He
ownership.
protects him with his life.
The
yeah.
ownership.
Because,
I think the ownership might be just not the right one.
But because of the
Not the
way
right fit.
Berlusconi left the team, or is it?
It's partly because of that too.
Actually, Berlusconi sold the team. Berlusconi didn't. It's not because Berlusconi left that AC Milan is going down. Berlusconi didn't want the team anymore.
Yeah, but the way the management
everybody in Italy was
the way
putting
the
pressure
management
on
of
Berlusconi.
AC Milan now was talking, they were blaming kind of the last owner for what's going on.
So what did Berlusconi do wrong? He sold the team. When he sold the team was always the second or third. We were on the Champions League.
Maybe they say, who he sold it to at first. It was that whole
Well,
situation.
listen, I wish
they had.
Commisso would have just been successful in buying the team, but they didn't because the Chinese, a group
Making it
over
They
there.
couldn't get to the
Making
They
it
made it very
Well,
difficult for us.
What's
But,
the guy's name? The Greek.
Lee.
No, the Greek guy that is now
Gazidis.
Gazidis. I mean, he
forget
mentioned
about that guy.
something about the team was going to,
Bankrupt.
bankrupt.
D.
Serie D. That means
they avoided it or something.
yeah,
right?
That
means
I don't
bankruptcy.
know how.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't know how true
Berlusconi
that is.
didn't like that he said that.
Yeah,
Right,
he didn't.
and Berlusconi.
You
So
don't say that stuff, right?
He said you go to the bathroom and you say that stuff. You don't say it
right,
to everybody
right.
else.
So there's something. There's something though.
There must be some pressure
You know.
financially that is making AC Milan, they're stiff. They're playing stiff. Everybody's looking, it's like the ball is a hot potatoes. Just play the ball, play relaxed, just do the right thing. Nothing is, they make the things difficult for themselves. I understand that, you're playing a big team, but a small team. Roma didn't really do much.
What do you mean? Roma could have scored 4 goals.
I thought Roma played a lot
They
better.
played much
I didn't think
better.
Milan played well.
Better, but
Milan
not
didn't
to
play
the
well.
point that they
No, they
overwhelmed AC Milan. AC Milan, they had
Really?
They could have been 4-1
Really?
the final score.
No, but
What are
the
you
idea
talking
is
about?
it's not just this year. It's been past
2-3
3
years.
to 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
where
I would have said
Milan-
8 years.
You know,
Ah, 3
I
years.
was-
Since they won the Scudetto,
yeah, but not this bad.
Yeah,
I
not
mean, I
this
think
bad.
this.
Yeah, I get what you're
I
saying.
think
The
right
decline
now,
started from
it's just no one knows what's really going on as far as like a fan's perspective, and
Question mark.
I think from stemming from last summer, these things have to be done in the summer before the season ends. You have the decision to get rid of Gattuso. Okay, you get rid of Gattuso, but who's gonna be in charge? You pick someone like Gianpaolo, who doesn't have any real experience coaching a big team. One,
And they give him 7 games.
you have players that don't play in his system, in his style of system.
Brainless.
You don't have any ability to sell the players because they're devalued. That was a major thing too. All of their players that they have,
that's a good point.
they bought them for high and they were very low now.
That's a good point.
So to be able to buy other players and not getting the Champions League hurts big time. That's a $40 million cushion where you can now increase it even more so with games played, with merchandising, playing in Champions League, et cetera, et cetera. It's a business now. In order to be a big team, you have to have money and ability to buy. Okay? Buying power. I know you hate it. You think, oh, Conte is easy. You just go to the shopping mall and buy this player, take this player. But that's how you win. That's how everyone wins. Every league that you see
The big
wins
teams.
that way.
Yeah.
This is very big picture, which is good, but also just Roma, like the game, 11 players on the pitch, whatever happens before, whatever happens after. I thought that, the team under Gattuso, and not to always look in the past, but it's relevant right now. I don't think that I ever saw Gattuso's team look as poor defensively, as lack of concentration as they do right now. The mistakes, they weren't great, but I don't think that they were that bad to this point.
Yeah.
And again, it's kind of like saying like Gattuso was the best guy to, I think Cassano said it, he was the best guy to get out of these players.
This crop of players.
Like Calabria, I mean, the mistakes that he made were so shocking.
Conte. What about
Conte.
Conte?
Was it Conte or
Conte.
Calabria who made the
Both.
mistake?
Today, both of
Okay,
them.
I was thinking about the Calabria one. They're just very strange to me. Very strange.
Gattuso definitely got more out of them.
Piontek on the bench again, second time in a row. And then when he came in, Leao not even good.
Yeah, it wasn't doing well.
For Roma's perspective, what did you guys think about Roma?
Roma played great. 2-1 was a lie. Like I was saying, it could have been 3-4-1 for sure. They played amazing. They left Jack open. Milan horrible on that. Zaniolo scored an amazing one. Pastore had a chance. One-on-one, Donnarumma made a nice save with his face.
He was
And
offside,
there's a few other.
He had one that he scored. Pastore was
Yeah, it was
offside.
offside.
Oh, that was a different
Yeah.
one. But Roma had multiple chances. They played great.
Yeah,
They were
Donnarumma
playing
made
at
a nice
home.
save, you're right.
Yeah, Roma definitely the better team. Definitely deserved it.
And good spark for them because they got absolutely screwed in the Champions League with that Europa League, sorry, with the Smalling, with the handball.
Oh, yeah, that was horrible.
And it's it's hard when you have those kind of things. I think we said about Napoli, Juve, Inter, who had Champions League problems and European problems, and then you go back. I think Smalling's been really great for Roma so far. I actually liked him a lot. And I like what he's doing, and I think that he did a really good job. And he got screwed with that. Where the ball clearly hit his face. It's one of the craziest calls I've ever seen. But good job by them to pounce back. I thought coaching wise, Fonseca got it really right tonight. I do think a lot of it was Milan were not there to really play. I don't think Milan showed up, but Roma won, and I thought this one was going to end as a tie before the game. And I agree with Michael that this was much more favored towards a Roma win.
And now we saw on this game what happened is without the VAR, what happens. So with the VAR, this would have been, a very easy call to make
For which?
for the Roma
Smalling.
for Smalling.
Oh, yeah.
You
Europa
know,
League.
Europa League.
Yeah, Europa League.
Yeah, that's
Europa.
horrible.
No,
They-
I was,
they should have it.
Yeah,
UEFA
now we're saying,
competition.
before some says, oh, well, the VAR, but here the VAR would have clearly easily show that the ball hit his face and not his hand.
That was even without the VAR. For the referee to make that call is just crazy.
Yo, that
How do
referee's
you
a
see
new
something
job.
that didn't
That was
happen?
horrible. That was
It
horrible.
clearly hit
There
his face.
should be a system to just hold. To hold the referees accountable after the game. I mean,
This
Well,
guy
they-
does need to be
gotta
held
be a-
accountable.
Yeah, well,
Assist.
they do
100%.
suspend them for games and months. But if you don't see that
Exactly.
it was a handball,
exactly.
why do you call a handball, right? You clearly didn't see that it was a handball. Why you call it?
What about the sideline?
Yes.
guys? Did they see- what
That's
about
the
fourth man?
craziest part to
So
me. If
stupid.
you don't see it, you can't call it.
Right.
It's like
Right.
if you're looking the opposite way and somebody says he punched me in the face. I didn't see him get hit in
Right,
the face.
right, yeah.
As bad as this, I can't assume that I saw that, which is crazy to me. As many people are around you telling you that it hit his hand, if you don't see it hit his hand, and you can't see it hit his hand if it hits him in the face, how you make that call in the 94th
He called
minute
it pretty quick, too.
and there's no VAR in Europa League? Crazy decision.
The thing
It's-
is, what if this costs Roma? What if they don't go through the group by 2
Talking
points?
about millions of the dollars.
That's what
man.
I'm talking
Millions
about.
and millions
The
and millions
referee
of
should be
dollars.
accountable.
It's got to be
for
one of the
something
most
like this.
frustrating things as a player to
100%.
concede something
Definitely
like
one of the
that,
worst calls I've ever
where you
seen.
know that it hit your face and it hits your hand. We actually made a graphic. We circled Smalling's head and we circled his hand and we said, UEFA, this is a handball and head. He actually posted it. He
Yeah,
posted
he
it. And he
posted
said
it. He was
he
so
said one of the
mad.
most disgraceful decisions I've ever seen.
Look what Montella, for example, today was livid. Montella rarely complains about referees and VAR and everything else. But today, after the game, they interviewed him. I was watching it. I was just on my room watching the post game. Montella just was very hard on the ref. I said, what the hell? You don't see that a foul that was a very, very, very clear foul. And then on the counter attack, those guys, they come back and Immobile scored the goal. Come on.
I don't agree with that.
I do.
I don't
do
agree with
100%.
that.
was
That's not a foul.
That
That's not a
was
foul. No.
Come on.
If this is a foul, golf has more contact than football. You can't give this as a foul.
Did you watch it?
I watched the first half and then I left to come, to be
Pull it out. Pull it on the
to be here. I thought that in the first half there were times where Fiorentina was playing and they were maneuvering and they were holding on to the ball, and then there was a part of the game in the first half where Lazio took over and they were playing. There was some push in the area.
Cáceres, that one.
Yeah, Cáceres. That was a questionable.
Sotil with who?
It was Sotil and Lukaku.
So there were some also questionable calls on the first half. But again, with Fiorentina, I don't see where's the center forward. He's playing with these two forwards where they're really not center forward. Ribéry is a great player, but he comes back to get the ball. He's more of an assist player. I see Ribéry more of an assist. He comes back, gets the ball, looks up, and gives you a nice ball. So when Ribéry comes back, who's left alone? Chiesa is left all by himself against four players. I know Castrovilli sometimes goes inside, but he doesn't score a lot of goals, Castrovilli. So my only thing, I mean, I see Fiorentina, they got some great players. They controls a lot of the games with most of the teams that I've seen, but I think they have to realize and they have to fix the center forward position.
I got it. If only there was a world-class center forward that's going to have no contract in January, that has Serie A experience and is a born winner. If only there was a guy like that was on the market.
What's his name, Anto?
Piate?
Zlatan.
We're ending this podcast.
I don't know.
On a further note, I was happy Chiesa scored. I was very happy because I feel like he struggles to score a lot of times. I thought he actually did really good. I thought he played really well. Lazio too. I liked the way that Lazio was playing, and on the ending with Sotil, which I'll show you guys right now. To me, in my opinion, I saw Sotil at least 3 times towards that end. Man, every player these days, they get a touch, and I was so mad during this. And I wanted Fiorentina to win, but any touch, and it's not just him, it's a lot of players these days, any touch, they go straight to the ground. And we need to
watch the play.
But you're talking about
What led to the second goal?
okay.
What led to
But the penalty was a penalty?
Yeah.
The penalty was
But they didn't score the penalty.
Look, the penalty, the guy almost made the save as a goalkeeper.
That was a penalty. That was a hit his hand.
Yeah.
But they didn't score
They didn't score the penalty.
Look.
What do you mean? They didn't score on the penalty?
No.
They had a penalty after the second goal. When they had the second goal, they had a third one.
There were 2-1 already. Okay.
And
okay.
yeah, press play, and you'll see it in a couple minutes. This is Immobile after he scored, and Sotil lost on this one.
Come on.
Nah, come on. It's way too light.
Gaetano, what do you think?
Okay. I don't know. If this is a foul, then the other one is a foul too.
I can see
The one
both ways on this.
in
Yeah.
Cáceres.
Yeah.
The only
And then they went on to score this. By the way, who is marking Immobile in the box? The Capocannoniere of the league right now.
10
It
goals,
has
Ciro Immobile, 10
has
goals.
how many yards of space to have an open header?
Lukaku with
That's
assist,
more
by
so.
the
If I
way.
was Montella, I'm complaining about that. Where's the defense on it? Where's that?
Dalbert is kind of shying away
It's
on the
crazy.
play. He has to.
But Immobile,
he has to do
you
better.
would think that Immobile, you're like, this is the guy that the only threat that they really have had, and this was ended up being the penalty kick, which he stopped the ball from going in, but they missed it. They ended up missing. The ball.
Oh, they
saved it.
missed the
They
penalty.
had it saved. They had it saved,
Goalkeeper saved.
but it was a bad penalty. It
At
was
what point was that?
95th.
93, 94, something like that.
And then they score after that?
No. That's
Oh, it was 2-1 already.
Yeah,
Okay.
2-1 already.
I got you.
4 minutes before the end of
Got you.
regular time.
Okay.
But
Overall, I've seen the theme, and I'm really sick. I'm really so sick of it. I'm sick of every touch being a foul. And I think sometimes you see certain referees in our league where they'll take a nice hit like this and they won't call it. And then there's other ones where, what was last week when Immobile had a toe that was touched and the guy goes to the ground?
against Atalanta.
Against Atalanta. And it's like, come on. Every contact does not mean
Yeah,
a
I get what
foul.
you're saying.
Every contact does not mean a penalty kick. It has to be enough. You're giving, for such a slight thing, far away, that's really not stopping a goal-scoring
Now,
opportunity.
let me ask you something.
It's a foul.
Let me ask you something, Gaetano. Your opinion mostly. Why?
The rest I don't want to hear.
Thanks.
Why in a situation
I don't blame him.
where a free kick that is not given leads to the other team to score against your team, that is not VAR reviewable?
It is.
Why can? No, it's not.
They did
foul
review
that
this.
leads up to
They
the
reviewed it.
reviewable.
They silent checked it.
Yeah.
They silent checked this.
Yeah.
They do
That
that
is
without
reviewable.
stopping.
And they told him that there was not a foul. They took a while on that one, right? I remember that he was
They
waiting.
didn't stop the game.
They
don't
didn't
need to-
start the game.
But that's what
They
silent
didn't
check
stop
is.
the game. It was
Silent
after the
check
goal
is you don't need to
and he was
stop the
listening.
game.
From what I saw,
Yeah, a lot of it that they silent check. The part, I mean, the protocol is if the referee makes the call on the field, unless the VAR sees it completely 100% the opposite, they're not gonna do anything about it. Pretty much. That's how it works. That's I think what happened on that first push. So that's a good. They were saying give the coach 3 chances to call on the VAR.
Challenges.
The challenger. Give him 3 challenges as a game, and if the coach says, "Okay, I want to stop the game and I want to see this."
In football, that's what they do.
I'm
Football,
not a huge
tennis.
fan of that.
Yeah,
I think that it
I
should
don't
all
know
just
if
be
that's
checked.
going to work in soccer.
Yeah, that's
but
a little.
I think it should
sticky.
just all
Yeah.
be checked. to be
Yeah, I
honest.
agree. That's
At
the
least
most
with the
fair.
sound
That's the
check.
most
Yeah.
fair.
But then you got the camera angles. But anyway, for me, that's not a foul. I don't know. Personally, I know Pete. You
The
thought
thing
it was.
with that, it's from behind. That's
You
the
felt like it
only
wasn't a
thing.
foul.
Listen, it all depends on like the angle that you see it. So that's what's so hard about being
That's
a ref.
true.
You have to
Yeah.
make the decision in live time. That's what VAR is meant for. VAR is meant to
Marco-
be able to help the referee make the decision.
So should you not overturn it if
I
you're
think
really not
on
that
a-
sure?
on a- but no, what it is it's on a foul like that is unfortunately based on interpretation. There's depending on the league, right? We see the Premier League, a foul is completely different than a foul in Serie A in certain situations, 50-50
Certain
challenge
referees.
and stuff like that. A referee might see something as a yellow card where another one might say, okay,
That's
the
a
next
warning.
warning,
Yeah.
and I'm going to give you a yellow
It's
card.
sad.
So there's so much stuff that happens, but that's
Yeah.
part of the game in
It's
every
sad.
sport. For example, in baseball, right? Antonio, you love baseball, right? An umpire, as long as he's consistent with what he calls, that's what makes him a good umpire. Not he could have a strike zone that's bigger, smaller, whatever. But if he calls it the same way for both teams, that's what's important. And I think that's how we have to start looking at it. The unfortunate thing is, yes,
Not everything could be black and white. in
Yeah,
this thing.
We need to
It's
stop being so
true, though.
soft because every time that we call a foul on the minimal contact, it leads
No,
to
that's
other
true.
players who watch the game and they think
It's okay.
If I feel something, I was watching one. It wasn't Serie A, it was somebody else. The guy got hit over here. He almost hurt himself throwing himself to the ground. The guy grabbed his face, fell back, and almost broke his arm,
did a
landing on his arm.
spin a
He
few
did it.
times.
He did this crazy spin. I said, so
like Manolas to me.
anytime that a referee calls that, it opens the door to a future player saying, when I get hit over here, I know that it's going to be called because you
sets a
need
precedent.
to. I love referees that let the game play. Try not to blow the whistle. Let the game go.
But you have to be able to manage the game because also if you let the game go, it can get out
can
of
get
hand.
ugly.
It's not so easy.
That's
it's easy
true.
to,
No, it's
Of
true.
course,
to say.
of
But
course,
for
of
me
course.
personally, the first time I saw it, I thought it was a foul. That's
To me,
that's what I
saw it
said.
10 times,
but
I could still 10
I
times
could
it's the
understand
same
your
foul.
viewpoint. But that's what's so hard about being a referee.
No, it's
To me,
true.
on the opposite side of the field,
Soccer
not a
gets
foul.
a bad rap because you know, in
diving.
the diving. Because in the
sure.
past, there's been a lot of diving. I mean, I remember looking at Neymar and watching a Neymar a year ago, a few years ago. I mean, the guy was always on the ground, even if they touch him or you didn't touch him. So and this is one of the top players in the world, and it happens a lot in soccer. So we got a bad rap for that. I look at the American sports. Oh my God,
They don't fall at all.
No, these guys, they're proud if somebody pushes them and they don't fall.
Yeah.
You know,
congratulate
you
you.
didn't knock me down.
exactly.
You know, it's a totally different culture. So it takes time to change the
But it's also
culture.
sad.
But the sport is also different in the sense that a free kick in that situation, let's say Neymar getting the free kick, even if he dives, could be a valuable.
more valuable.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get
could
it.
lead to a goal and a free kick, or could even get a yellow card.
I
I'm not
understand,
for it.
but-
I'm just trying to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
Right.
because you can get a yellow card
That's
now.
true.
But
This player gets
that's
a
why
yellow
that's why the
card.
referees need to be so strong. Where exactly the point is, the guy's on in the box all the way to the right side, like as close to the edge as you could be. He gets the minimal contact. Most likely, the goal was never going to lead to a goal. The play was never going to lead to a goal, but he got minimal contact, falls to the ground,
And you
and
get
now he's got
opportunity.
whatever percentage
Yeah.
chance so much higher to score on a penalty kick, which to me is not the right way.
Oh,
It's
exactly.
personally.
No. I'm not for it. I'm just saying the idea behind
And
it.
isn't a foul in the box supposed to be a lot stronger than a foul outside of the box?
That's true.
I always grew up with that a foul in the box, it couldn't just be a touch. It needed to be, you need
Has
to
to be,
properly
yeah.
get fouled.
Yeah. That's how
That's what I was always
that's
under
how
the
they-
I
By
could be
by
wrong.
the rules, no.
No.
A foul
Okay.
is a foul everywhere.
But I feel like that's how the referees look at
No,
it.
but the thing is,
Yeah.
because
It
the
should be.
penalty is so harsh.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
You're not gonna get the same call
They're not
outside
gonna
the
get the
box
same
from
call.
inside.
which is how it should be in my opinion. That's my opinion.
a lot
Let's
about
go to some questions. Stephen Cole says, "Can Atalanta be the Italian Leicester City?" I heard
To win the Scudetto?
beforehand they asked Gasperini if they could win the Scudetto, and he said Roma and Milan have a better chance of winning the Scudetto than Atalanta do. which I'm sure he was just.
I like his mentality.
He's leading the pressure off, of course.
Using Mourinho mind games.
What's
Who?
Gasperini.
Oh, Gasperini. He's not copying anything from Mourinho, believe me.
Jeez.
Okay? If anything, there's anything that is, if someone has to learn from someone else, it's Mourinho that has to learn from him.
Cassano likes.
I forgot that Gasperini won the trouble. I
Antonio
forgot.
likes Cassano, Gasperini, Maldini. He'll protect those
Castrovilli.
till his grave, right?
Castrovilli too, yeah.
Whoever comes from body, you could just say.
So what, what's your response to Steven, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say yes.
no.
They're gonna win the Scudetto.
I'm not saying that they can win. I would put them.
He said to be the Italian Leicester City.
No, it's too hard in Serie A.
Hey, listen.
Meaning, how far can they go
Listen.
to really stay in the title race? Because they're only 3 points off right now.
Nah. If they can make third place again, that'd be incredible.
What do
I
you
would
think?
say they didn't even can get to second place.
That's tough. That's tough.
When Leicester
Tough.
won,
Yeah.
a lot of things went their
Yeah.
way in the
Exactly.
sense that the other teams
Yeah.
slacked.
It
and
was 1 in a
slipped.
million.
Yeah.
So it all depends on Juve Inter, really.
Yeah.
If they slip and Atalanta's still there, I think they can. Let's go for Atalanta winning the Scudetto.
Do you hear
no?
what he said? Depend on
listen.
Juve and Inter. That means
That's what it
No, it
depends
does.
on.
It does.
So
And
Napoli,
Napoli, and
Napoli's
Napoli,
not
No,
there.
and
yeah.
Napoli.
He's
But
right.
what I'm
He's
trying to
right.
say is the teams ahead of them right now are those two teams. If they potentially slip, Atalanta's going to kick out of the Champions League. I don't see how they can
Yeah, they
make a run for
And then they're
Champions
going to
League.
be concentrated on the Campionato.
But I'm saying the only thing is left is the Campionato.
Yeah.
They
They're
have
barely
a team.
they're barely built to compete for a Champions League. I mean to compete for a Champions League spot, let alone compete on 3 different fronts for
And who said so?
me.
Based on what?
Based
on the value of the players?
Yes, and the depth, the
And a
lack of
bunch of
depth that they have.
BS.
They get one
Wait.
injury and they're screwed.
Guys,
in
I
the
had a
back.
question. Why they play so good in Serie A, but in Champions League it's the
That's
complete
very
opposite
hard.
though?
That's
Why the
very-
complete opposite
inexperience.
The
You
teams
played
right.
against Man City.
though? No. Okay, Dinamo Moscow and
Shakhtar
and
Donetsk.
Shakhtar Donetsk.
Shakhtar Donetsk has been
Yeah.
playing in Champions League for how many years in a row?
Shakhtar,
they have
they have
so
9
many
Brazilian
players
So you
that have
think
been
just
playing on the
experience?
highest of
But then-
levels.
Shakhtar, they got 9 Brazilian, not 1, 2, 3, 9.
but the complete opposite. They're dominating in Serie A, third place.
Anything can
You know what
happen
I'm
in
saying?
soccer. That's why it's a beautiful game.
Next.
Is an obvious one. Alex Dagrosa said, "Will Pioli stay for the rest of the season, no matter how bad they perform?
No, not if they.
Like, are they willing to sack a second coach?
yeah, they
Of
will.
course.
Yeah, if
Oh,
they
yeah.
sack Giampaolo within
You lose
7
a-
games.
If
you
he
lose
loses a bunch of games.
Yeah,
If there's a couple of more games, you're
Even
out.
Anto knows that, right, Anto?
Silenzio stampa.
Silenzio stampa.
The
I see Cassano coaching AC Milan.
That would be so lucky.
wait, who would be lucky?
We are.
We are.
We were supposed to be so lucky to have Cassano coaching.
Question-
Cassano is capable to just take his jacket off and jump into the field and say, "This is how you score."
If he can run.
Question for Peter. Does he agree that Inter lacks options when it comes to the wingbacks, especially with a manager like Conte, where wingbacks are vital for his tactics?
No, I think we definitely miss a creative wingback, a technical wingback. I think Asamoah and Ambrosio for Conte's system, or even a Candreva who's been able to
Candreva.
do amazing this year. He's great for the system because he just wants up and
Yeah.
down running. But if we had somebody that could run and then put a perfect cross, it'd be even
They
better.
bring Lazzaro and Biraghi too. That
Yeah,
aren't
we
being
don't have-
Lazzaro.
implemented so much.
Yeah, we've been missing a decent right back since Maicon. Okay, Maicon. If Conte had Maicon,
Listen, you had a
man.
great right full back and you gave it
Oh,
away.
that's very true.
Well,
That's
they
very
didn't have the
true.
money.
But the
though.
reason
They
why
didn't
was
have the
financial
money, to
fair
be
play.
honest.
That's very
yeah,
true.
that's a different case.
But he just said you haven't had one
with
since Maicon.
Cancelo?
Is it Man
Yeah,
City?
Man City.
Man City.
Yeah. I don't know how he's
no,
been
but
doing.
Juventus took
Yeah,
him.
many of
He,
them.
he,
Does
he
play?
played. He
Like, I
played
don't
the
hear
last
it.
game. He played the
He
last game.
would've been good in the
He's-
3-5
he's,
too.
He's still going up and down.
You think so?
Yeah.
A question that I think Antonio's been asked many times before, but somebody said, for Antonio, if Bari and Milan played each other, who do you support?
Now,
Cassano.
I'll take Bari right now.
Wow. Okay.
Talk about Ben.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
Because I know Milan, I'll tell you why. Because I know that Milan is not going to win anything. It's not going to be.
But if they go down to Serie B, if they
No,
lose,
they're not going to go down to Serie B. And Bari needs to come up. So
if the case was Bari
forget
going to
about
Serie
it.
A
Just,
and
Maggio-
Milan going to
Hold on.
Serie B,
That's good.
Hold on. He's a loser.
What are you gonna say? Yeah, look at this. Look how they're showing this. By the way, this was the. You still can't tell from the angle though.
Ah, come on.
But no, there's
You're
different.
kidding me.
They
just show
ain't
Candreva
no-
on the
body.
screen.
The
Anto's
old
not-
body.
Anto refuses to
old
listen to what
body.
we're
But
saying.
Now.
also the linesman. Look how perfect the linesman is. He's directly in front of the play.
The old body.
He should be able to. And he
Yeah.
did call it offside. The linesman's in the perfect position,
Yo,
And
the
then
angle.
they reviewed the play,
Yeah,
and
I know, I
they still
know.
they haven't given.
and they overruled it. The
I would love
linesman
to
said
hear what they're
offside.
saying.
Guys, we're talking about the Candreva not offside. If you guys were wondering.
Somebody said, Antonio, when are we going to see you as the perfect replacement for Pioli with Cassano as the assistant coach?
We don't want to see Milan in Serie B. Come on.
I'm available, guys. Make me the offer, okay? I'll have Gaetano be my assistant.
Wait, you just gave up on. They said Cassano is your assistant.
No, Gaetano's the second assistant.
Cassano's a
okay?
water boy. So
Who and should Inter get in January to better their depth?
midfielders
Currently, it seems like they miss a good
Midfielders.
midfielder. That was
and
the rest
maybe
of
a fullback
Don't they have a Sensi?
and a striker too.
Sensi's
Maybe.
coming back.
Yeah, but we.
No, you,
But if he's out, who the hell?
They need Icardi. That's what they need.
Icardi scored 2 goals today for PSG.
so sorry to hear
Two beautiful
that.
goals for PSG.
No, but we know
against- in a
Icardi's
derby.
a great
Oh my
player.
God.
Really nice goals.
That's not what
He's
we're
not
trying
scoring.
to do.
Yeah, he's scoring.
He's trying to mess with you.
He's
Pete. Don't
he
listen.
scored in
Don't
so
fall
many
his
games.
Is
trap.
there a chance that Icardi comes back on the transfer market back to play for Inter in
Yeah, there's
January?
a chance. This is a loan.
Well, if he
It's
keeps
not an obligation
scoring,
to
if
buy.
he keeps scoring, PSG is going to take him.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Future's
saying.
gonna
It works out
activate.
better.
70 million.
Wow.
So anybody comes top of the mind for January for Inter besides
Ibrahimovic.
Nah, that's tough.
I mean, a midfielder is great as far as a specific player. It's so hard in the January
January
market
is the
because
toughest,
you're not going to
the
get a top
season's in the
player.
middle.
wait,
You're
you're
not
going to
gonna
get a
rid of-
top player, no?
in January.
Yeah, you're going to get Sanchez back.
Yeah,
Is he
okay,
coming
part of
back?
He should be coming
Yeah, he
back.
should be
Yeah,
coming
Yeah,
back.
so he's a good
But he's saying
player.
for the
I thought we were talking about
Same
top
like
players.
Mercato.
Top. Sanchez
Well,
is
is
not that
it-
top anymore. It's just,
No,
No, he's a good player. Maybe
but
not
I
a top
think
player.
coming off the bench is good.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, it's great.
100%.
The one
That's
game
the
that
thing.
he
'Cause
really
he-
started and played, he played amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he can still beat his man, and
You guys use
know,
him.
He just has to be
loosely.
fit. Like, yes, he's not. He couldn't run when he started.
Joe Figurelli says, thoughts on
Figurelli.
Delict and the poor start to his season. Should Juventus be pleased or disappointed with his performances so
That's
far?
natural.
Well, obviously not pleased
Yeah,
by
no,
his
not
performances.
pleased.
But in the big picture, he is a 19-year-old kid who's swapping leagues and a whole new back line. So obviously, I expected serious growing pains with him.
Yeah, nothing.
And I think
nothing crazy.
very hard for a kid of his stature.
Just put your hands behind your
mean-
back.
Yeah.
any great top players that came to the Italian league, it's very difficult to get adjusted on the first year. Many struggles, and there were top players.
Like who? Who you
I'm
think?
talking on the time of Maradona's when Maradona was coming. You know, we had Socrates that came to Fiorentina, and he was a great player from Brazil. He didn't do too good. I think a lot of the great players, even from AC Milan, that came the first 6 months are very tough. That's what they say. I mean, we're talking about Gullit and we're talking about Van Basten and Rijkaard and Platini. That's what they all said, that the first 6 months are very tough, even if you are a very high
top
level.
player.
Top,
Yeah.
world
Yeah,
class.
I mean, Delict wasn't even supposed to be a starter right now. It's
That's
more
true.
so because
Chiellini's
Chiellini got
out.
injured.
Good point.
So he's pretty much been thrown into the fire. He's a good player, great player, and he's 19 years old. He's
What
gonna
makes you
make.
think- No, not
he's gonna.
It was supposed to be a starter.
He might
he's
be
gonna-
20
no,
now,
He
but I
was
think
not
he was just
going to be a
Not
starter.
immediately.
He's
Not
he.
immediately.
No, but I'm saying he
Yeah,
still
you're
has
right,
time
you're
to
right.
grow and going into the Serie A where it's a whole new tactical understanding of soccer, of football. Italian defensive tactics are studied to the end till you dot your I's and cross your T's. So I mean, he's gonna have some growing pains, like I said, and he's gonna be fine. I think with Juventus, they're still in first place. Even with all the mistakes, it's more so the new handball rule that's been against him, and that his arm is a magnet for the ball.
Balls, yeah.
He's a big guy. The guy freaking towers everywhere. We got like 3 really good questions right here. Wanda.
Oh my God.
This is Wanda Marner says, if Mourinho was to coach a Serie A team right now, which team should he coach?
Wait, that
What, you
needs
want a
him?
penalty for that?
Yeah.
No.
Look how
Wait,
he goes in.
Wait, that need Mourinho.
Yeah.
If
It's a
we would pick
50-50.
ourselves or
Yeah.
realistically,
He has the.
Let's answer the question, guys.
that's a tough question.
Open to interpretation. If Mourinho is to coach a Serie A team, which team should he coach?
Would you kick off Conte right now or no?
At this very
Yeah,
moment.
wait,
this very
wait.
moment,
Answer
would
his
you-
question.
Would you kick off Conte?
No, you can't kick off.
Okay, me neither.
Damn, you're gonna throw your back on the guy that brought you the trouble?
That's messed up.
Wow.
He understands the importance.
Where's the loyalty?
Of no, Mourinho. He wants to defend Gasperini. I defend Mourinho. Mourinho is a
that's
top
fair.
coach.
Fair enough.
100%.
Any team that you were thinking for Mourinho?
Right now,
Yeah.
I would say Milan, but he'd never go there.
he
No,
won't.
no, but
he won't go
this-
to Milan. Let's see. Well, who?
Milan
be
for
an
the banter
interesting-
would be so
Don't
good.
hold your breath. We don't want him.
I
You
would
guys couldn't
actually.
get him
I would
anywhere.
like him on Napoli for some
Really?
reason. Yeah, I
You
don't.
could get
Oh
Ancelotti.
my
But no,
God.
but the reason why I'll tell you, I think the team, the player wise, they'll be able to create on their own. Mourinho gives a lot of freedom in the attacking third, and he would bring that winning mentality. He would be able to bring Napoli to win the Scudetto.
They don't have the funds.
Wow. So you're saying if Napoli would get Mourinho, he would bring the winning mentality.
I would be
and-
interested in seeing that, and I would say Mourinho to
You don't-
Napoli to win the
But
Scudetto.
Ancelotti's
The next
also won a
Porto,
lot.
right?
So what does
yeah.
Mourinho bring that Ancelotti doesn't bring?
I'm just not necessarily that Ancelotti doesn't bring what Mourinho can bring. I'm just saying, as far as answering the question, I would like to see Mourinho. I have a lot of respect for Ancelotti as well. He's won in the Champions League stuff, but he's always with the Scudetto. He's won a Scudetto, but he hasn't always won multiple. I don't know how many times
Consecutive
he won.
or something?
Consecutive
Yeah,
or whatever.
I get what you're saying.
Mourinho
Domination.
has won wherever he went.
So did Ancelotti. Everywhere he went, he won. Real
Was it
Madrid,
everywhere?
Bayern,
That's true. It's true. Chelsea.
Milan, Juventus. Everywhere he went,
I have
he
a
won.
soft spot for Mourinho.
You know, keep
That's
it.
fair.
Nobody's interested in Mourinho. If you
Gaetano.
were to pay me and AC Milan to take Mourinho, I will never pay. I will never get him.
That's what's wrong with you. That's
That
what's
guy
wrong
is a
with
big waste.
Gaetano. what
I
do you
will
think?
give him to AC Milan.
No,
But why
keep
would he
it.
go there?
That was so funny.
Why
That,
would he go
that
there?
would be
What's
it
he
would
gonna
be
do at Milan?
hilarious.
Keep it.
What do you mean? They need a coach.
But you think Mourinho would
Yeah.
go there?
They're asking for your opinion. They're asking for our
Yeah.
opinion. So you're saying where
They,
they would
they,
go.
they need a coach. So
Mike, take him to Olympiacos.
You know
We
where
don't
I
have the
would
money
you
for
can
him.
use him.
We don't have the money.
you
for
know
him,
where I would take
unfortunately.
him?
pay him with Greek cheese or whatever, or Spanish tropical,
I
whatever.
wish.
Or feta. Give him the equivalent of money in
Go for it.
feta.
He can swim
Just
over,
load him
right?
with feta cheese.
Fiorentina. I would take him at Fiorentina. I would love to see
Yeah?
Mourinho at Fiorentina. It's not, the top team that's going to win a Scudetto, but I'd really be interested in seeing what he could bring to the table. I would say Fiorentina, if you're asking me. All right, a couple more questions real quick. Chris says, is it time to throw in the towel with Bernardeschi? Yes. It's been the towel for a very long time. And if throwing in the towel, we're assuming he's not Juventus material, is what I'm assuming. Or he's not going to be that top player that people think that he's going to be.
I don't think so.
You like him?
I don't dislike him. It's not that I like him. I don't dislike him. I think the guy has done his job when he was called in because, you had injuries. You put the guy in. He performed for you guys.
I don't agree.
He did the job. To me, he did the job. Now you want to give up because he didn't put the ball in. He hit the post last time. Hey,
No. This is a long time coming for Bernardeschi. Anyway,
he scored.
he's not Juventus
Material?
material.
Maybe not Juve starter.
and he never will be Juventus material.
Yeah.
I'm going on
I don't
record.
think he's a
and
top
saying.
player. I think he can play on the Italian national team, bench player, and he can probably play in different teams, but maybe not start for Juventus.
What is he, 26?
Inter.
He's
How
probably
old is he?
25, 26.
You wouldn't even take him on Inter.
I didn't say I wouldn't take him. I'm saying I don't think he's a starter.
He's trying to twist your words. You see this?
You could probably take him out of Inter. I mean,
As a starter, I
What
don't
What
think
position
maybe.
would he
Yeah, I don't
play?
know even
What
know where.
position?
He doesn't have a real
3-5-2?
position.
Candreva.
The best thing about
put him on
Bernardeschi, he
Candreva's
started as a
position.
wing,
He
then he
wanna-
moved over to the
He's
center,
not- he's
then
not
he
a
pushed him
wing
back
He wouldn't
inside.
be able to play a wing back.
I just think he needs a change of scenery. I think he needs to go somewhere where he's gonna have not necessarily that he hasn't been able to play, but he's not consistently a starter for Juventus when everyone is healthy.
He needs
He just
somewhere he
doesn't
can be a
do
star
anything.
player.
He doesn't do anything. Yes, he runs. Yes, he wins the ball.
Back
but
to
what does he
Fiorentina?
really do?
Back to
what,
Fiorentina?
What,
He
what
can
kind
do
of game
something.
changer are you? You're not. You're not.
Listen, what more do you want him to do?
Yeah, he really. Marco's really
anything.
hating against him.
No,
he has
He's-
something against him.
I've had.
He's winning you the ball. He's running back. He's hustling. He's
Tell him,
his
tell him,
defense.
Marco, tell
What
him.
more do you want him to do? He's
Tell
not
him.
a striker.
If you think that Bernardeschi is a
You
good
want him to
player,
do the
you're
job of
lying to
Ronaldo
yourself.
and everybody else?
No.
So what do you want him to do? What is it that is missing for you?
He is
Focus
one
on
of
your
he
midfield
has
before
one
you
of
focus on
the
them.
worst decision making players in football I've ever seen at a top level. Every top team, the top 6 teams in Europe, I don't see any player that has worse decision making than Bernardeschi.
So you are saying he's shooting when he's supposed to pass, and he's passing when he's supposed to shoot?
he does a lot of really good things, and then he doesn't know what to do. There's times that he'll dribble and he'll make a cross to the ceiling. Like he has no clue where to go. He's like a bull almost sometimes. I don't know. I don't like him. Next, last question, Chris. I'd like to hear Antonio's take on Bari and how they're doing in Serie C.
Well, Bari's right now, they're not the top of the draw, but they are fifth, I think fourth or fifth place, I would say, the last time that I checked. And I have a confidence that by the end of the year, we'll be on top.
You like what De Laurentiis since he took over?
Yeah. Yeah. Next year, we're going to be in Serie B, almost 100%.
So, guys, one last
Bari
thing.
or Milan?
Last night I was at a concert,
Oh my God.
and this young man came up to me and he said he recognized me, and he said, "You know, I met your son in the Bronx when Fiorentina came over. His name is Marco Buglione, and you took a picture with him this summer. I sent you the picture."
Yeah.
Okay, and he would like, he's 15 years old, he's a Serie A fan, he's a Napoli fan, so he would like
Forza Napoli.
all of us, you know, to say hello to him. Marco Buglione
All right,
is 15
Marco
years
Marco
old.
Buglione.
Marco,
Forza
you're
Napoli, Forza
You're welcome to the
Manolas.
podcast, right? He's welcome to the podcast,
Welcome,
right?
yeah. You invite
Right.
everybody. He's
Come on
he's
over.
very welcome.
Is he a Juventus fan?
Napoli fan.
Then you are better welcome.
We'll
on
bring
the
you to
podcast.
Ludovico. You guys will be
Yeah,
best
we'll
friends over
connect you
here.
with Ludovico.
Yeah.
Ludovico knows some of the best restaurants. And
He only has one restaurant.
Kid's 15.
Don't say that.
and you get a shirt. And you're going to get a shirt too, okay? That's
Very
all.
good.
All right.
All right, guys. As always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Rate the podcast 5 stars. If you're depressed, don't get mad.
Don't get mad. You don't get mad. Don't worry about AC Milan right now. We're not dead. Let them see all of those haters over there. Let them hate us. This is what makes us bigger. You know, we live for this. Everybody hating us, and we have this. We're supposed to just be not dead. Okay, just showing them that we're never gonna die.
You stopped recording already, Anto.
We still have 7 Champions League. All of them combined, that we're gonna make it to 5. So we're still on top. Until they make,
make
it
it to
to
5.
7
We
Champions
make it to
Leagues,
5.
it's not over
just
yet.
make it.
Okay.
And tune in next week to see who your loser of the
Yeah,
week is.
next week, the loser of the week, I predict is going to be this guy here.
All right, guys. As always, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
Forza Genoa.